This might come as a surprise to you, but I'm actually very intrigued and quite well educated when it comes to seismic activity. There are two main reasons for this. Reason number one, I have spent a lot of time researching the Earth's crust and tectonic plates, purely because the next time a flat earther tries to spout some random bullshit to me, I actually have factual evidence that shoots down not only their argument, but makes them realise everything they've ever falsely believed is a complete lie. Reason number two is the household I grew up in, and not that I'm related to any geologist as such, it's just that if you were ever in the house when my dad went for a shit, you pretty much have an experience in the 7.5 magnitude earthquake. This installment of the Beyond Fiction series involves a world record that has not been broken in 150 years, and when I explain it to you, you will quite literally not believe your ears. Pun intended. The 1883 eruption of Krakatoa. For this, we need to travel back to 1883, obviously, to the Sunda Strait between the Indonesian islands of Sumatra and Java, where they make banging satay sauce. Krakatoa used to be one large island with 3 individual volcanic cones and is now a group of small islands known as the Krakatoa Archipelago, a collection of small islands by near Krakatoa. So what reduced this one island into 3 smaller ones? Krakatoa does have a violent past well before 1883, kind of like my great uncle, which is probably why he's still in prison. It is known that Krakatoa erupted in 535 AD, which is conveniently the same year that there was a global volcanic winter. It has been confirmed that 535 is the longest cooling period that the planet has experienced in over 200,000 years. And after I share what happened in 1883 with you, you'll probably suspect that Krakatoa was responsible for the 535 global winter. Krakatoa has actually been given the nickname the Fire Mountain by the local populace and does have various records over the course of centuries of different eruptions, although not are 100% refutable. But enough of this history lesson, let's get straight down to the business. In May of 1883, the tallest of the 3 cones, also known as the 800-metre giant Krakatoa, began smoking, and faint rumblings could be felt on both the islands of Sumatra and Java. The animal was awake. Krakatoa's awakening was actually celebrated by the locals, and Dutch colonies of the island were given boat tours out to see the spectacle. But little did they know that between a not so threatening ash cloud at the time and the faint rumbling, that Krakatoa was about to open the gates of hell. Everyone was curious to see what would happen next, and on the afternoon of August the 26th, 1883, they got their answer. Krakatoa blew its lid, hurling debris 24 kilometres into the sky, and the eruption was heard in colonies over 100 miles away. And this was just the beginning. At 6 a.m. the next morning, a series of 4 huge explosions caused the island and the volcanic cones to cave in on themselves, sending death out in multiple directions. The first of these eruptions caused the cone Krakatoa to collapse into the sea, sending a tsunami out towards the islands at speeds of over 300 miles an hour and over 100 foot high. This, as you can imagine, was a bit of a surprise to the locals and would be to anyone in this modern day, considering the only time planet Earth has ever seen this kind of rapid displacement of fluid was after the last time I winked at my best mate's mum. I'm sorry, I wrote that joke earlier. I knew I was going to laugh at it. Professional mode. The waves tore across coastal communities, wiping out whole settlements and colonies with absolute ease, and enough strength to tear a 50-foot lighthouse from its very foundations. The survivors scrambled to get further inland, trying to get to higher ground, but little did they know that Krakatoa was barely in its beginning stage. The seawater that went into the crater where Krakatoa used to be had been building up for hours, and the heat produced an unbearable amount of steam, creating pressure, an unholy amount of pressure. Krakatoa was about to give us its final masterpiece. Just after 10 a.m, Krakatoa gave us its final and loudest bang, which was measured at the force of 200 megatons, Just for context, that is 4 times larger than the largest nuclear device ever tested, the Tsar bomber. Or another bit of context, it was 50 times more explosive than both the Hiroshima bomb and the Nagasaki bomb combined. This is Daniel in the editing stage. Just to let you know, I said it was 50 times the bombs combined. No, it was 50,000 times the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bomb combined. Idiot Daniel. The bang was so loud that it was heard by cattle farmers in Australia. To give you an idea of this kind of distance, if Krakatoa had erupted in Dublin, it would have been heard in New York, it would have been heard in Cairo, it would have been heard in the fucking North Pole. It still stands to this day the loudest noise ever recorded, even shattering the eardrums of a boat crew that was 65 miles away from Krakatoa at the time. Barometers around the globe picked up the bang in the change in air pressure that the bang itself had caused, and over the course of 5 days, the air pressure change was noted 4 times as it circled the globe. Explain that, flat earthers. At over 150 miles away in Batavia, don't know if I've pronounced that right, deal with it, the sound was registered at 172 decibels, 150 miles away from the eruption site. To put this into context, if you have your ear next to a shotgun that's just been fired, that's 160 decibels. This particular final eruption also sent debris 80 kilometers into the sky, plunging the surrounding islands in total darkness, whilst also sending out pyroclastic flows of hot ash, rock and gases to Sumatra and Java, killing everything in its path. The blast was so strong and so powerful that these pyroclastic flows moved at speeds of 150 miles an hour. There was nowhere for anyone to go. After Krakatoa finally calmed down, it is believed that the death toll was around 36,000 in total. And with this being the first natural disaster of the modern era, of where we had now telegraph cables running undersea, this was the first worldwide global incident that was being reported in real time. The record still stands to this day as the loudest noise since records began. And what makes this even scarier is that Krakatoa only rates a 6 out of 8 on the Volcanic Explosive Index. To put another bit of perspective on it, the eruption of Mount St. Helens was only a category 5. So it's always good to know that Mother Nature has something in store for us. I mean, bear in mind a few years ago, she created a disease that pretty much brought the whole globe to a standstill for a year and a half. But we could have only found that out if some deranged lunatics decided to start eating bat. Thanks, China. Natural disasters have always intrigued me, but when it comes down to it, the main cost is human life. Not that I'm intrigued by it, but that's something that we should remember, and particularly with Krakatoa, as much as it is an outstanding record and everything that happened would be visually spectacular, the 36,000 lives that were lost on those 2 days are what we should remember the most. So this has been your boy Pembroke's Own. It's been good to get back in front of the camera and do these kind of videos again. I know not many of you watch the Warzone Wamblings podcast, but I'm going to be doing those once a week now, and I'll be getting back to the Beyond Fiction and Writing Things series. I actually have a lot more lined up for Beyond Fiction than I do Writing Things, but if you're an aspiring writer out there and you do want to see something specific when it comes to the world of writing or creating stories, let me know down in the comments. If you're new here, please subscribe, and if you did enjoy this video, please leave a cheeky like. I'm now back to uploading once a week, but yeah, this has been me, and as always, much love, take care, and peace. Arpilelago. Arpilelago. Oh, vaginal fuck flaps.